You're listening to the Marginally Geeky Show, the epically geeky book club.
Greetings and welcome to the Marginally Geeky Show, the epically geeky book club. I'm your host for the evening, Eugene Stevens. Tonight I'm joined by Lainey Moore, Jennifer Hetzel, and our Canadian friends, Ray and Chris Andrew. How's everyone doing?
Excellent.
Good.
Good. So how's everyone been since the last we met?
Busy.
Yes, very busy.
Haven't we all?
That year.
You know, we celebrated U.S. Thanksgiving.
Little late on that one.
Needless Murder Day? No, sorry.
Needless Murder Day.
Hey, you know what? The turkey is fine. It's the cornbread I'm after, so the dressing I'm after. So,
Which the food that you guys posted was, you sent on the back channel. It was delicious. Looked awesome. Could have sent up some cornbread up this way, but whatever.
I boycotted posting pictures of my food because I was like, I'm not going to do that. We're all eating the same fucking thing. Like,
well,
I'm not going to do that.
I didn't post it online. I thought the same thing, but I was like, no, I got to share this to Canada.
You just send it to the Canadians.
Yeah, just
We're
the
just
Canadians.
Thursday. We probably had pizza or something.
It was a busy day. Subway. We probably had Subway.
Yeah.
Subway. Anyway, I might be a little hungry. Anyway, so we were supposed to, originally we decided we were going to get together and read the next book on our list, which is Off to Be the Wizard. But about halfway through the month, we were like, everyone's kind of behind. Everyone's kind of busy. And I was actually going back and listening to the episode, and Jennifer had brought up an interesting question about our last book, We Are Bob, We Are Legion, We Are Bob, and we didn't really hit on it. And I thought, maybe we should take some time, step back, and go over the, kind of reassess some of the books that we've already looked at. So that's what we're going to do tonight. If you've already read Off to Be the Wizard, don't worry. We will be reading that for next month. But for right now, we're just going to kind of go back and maybe hit some of the stuff that we didn't talk about the first time on the books. If there's anyone here that's currently present, I guess you have to be here to be present, that wasn't on a particular episode and wanted to, throw in their 2 cents about what they thought about the book, this is a good time to do that. So we're going to do this in the order in which we read them. So going way back a little over a year ago, our first book that we read was The Martian by Andy Weir. Did anyone is there anyone here that wasn't on that first episode that has thoughts they want to share? Okay, I think everyone was here for that first episode. So
I read the whole thing in Matt Damon's voice. That's really all I have.
Well, did anyone have any thoughts or anything else that they wanted to bring up? I jotted down a couple of notes of some things. I actually went back and reread the book. Well, listened to the book here actually with just the last week or so. So this is probably the 4th or 5th time I've listened to it. I still love that book. I really, really enjoy it. So even though
Did you do that for every book that we're reviewing in the last month, Eugene?
Pretty much, yes.
How?
Here's my thing. I have an Audible credit. Every time I read something that's through Audible, I've said this multiple times. But I just I get to these points like I'm having to redo my inventory again. Long story, and so I'll run out of podcasts, and I'm like, well, let me re-listen to something, and I only get 1 credit a month, and I'll burn through a book pretty quickly. So I usually go back and we'll re-listen to something, and some things I've only listened to a couple of times. Some things I've read multiple times. It's almost like kind of going back and watching, your favorite movie or TV series over and over again. So, but a couple of the things that I wrote down for The Martian. Do any of y'all make up your own terms for something that you use in your day-to-day life. I'm specifically referring to that part in the book where he came up with pirate ninjas, for the measurement as to how much energy he needed to be able to, get from point A to point B. Does anyone have a term that they've made up or something like that they use at their work or at their house or whatever?
Call my fingers cat boopers.
Cat boopers?
They boop the cat on the nose.
So how many cat boopers does it take to
Yes.
change the bulb? Is that what?
Yes. 5 on a good day.
5 on a good day. I'm sure Murray doesn't really care for that, so I can't really think of one. The closest one that I had was with my partner at work. She's actually moved on to a different job, and I'm hoping to get another partner at work. But we had devised she would be out in the building doing something, or I'd be out in the building doing something, and just we weren't, one thing leads to another. You go out for one thing, and then someone else is like, hey, while you're here, can you look at this? And then next thing you know, an hour and a half's gone by, and it's like, well, where the hell did she go? So jokingly at first, I just wrote, I just texted her, and I wrote ASL. And I'm like, the problem with that is I already know your age. I already know your sex. I just really need your location. I don't want to just write L. That's stupid. So we devised the LAC at work, which is location, activity, as in what you're currently working on, and chocolate level. And this is on a DEFCON level of 5 to 1. And
oh my God.
So if you got something back like counselor's office, reformatting computer, 1, it means, oh, things are not going well. You need chocolate when you get back to the office. So, yeah.
For us at work, it's if somebody's having a bad day or whatever, and we like just bad. There's so many bad things going on, or whatever it is. It's how many whacks there are, and then it's 10 whacks equals a shitload, and then there's 5 shitloads equals a shit ton. So. How deep are you in it? Well, we're in a shitload. Okay, that's pretty deep. How deep are you in it? It's a shit ton. Okay, now you're okay. Got it. So yeah,
I like it.
That's really the only one that I can think of. All the rad tape.
All of them. Okay.
Bruce A. Anyway.
That's awesome. Actually, I like that.
We have a thing at work called a red pant moment. So once we had a training event, and the email sent out about it explicitly stated wear khaki or black pants. And one of our coworkers didn't read the email all the way through and showed up with red pants. Mm-hmm. And the reason that we were told to wear red or black is because we were given a red shirt to wear that day. So she had a red shirt and red pants, and now we call it a red pant moment when somebody doesn't read all the way through something or asks a question that's been answered already.
Nice.
I love that.
That's
awesome.
Or
just basically in general, we're like, oh, we're having a red pant moment. Yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah. We do a thing where I do a thing where I gauge how bad of a rule I'm breaking by asking one of my coworkers on a scale of 1 to you're fired. Can I do this?
Nice.
I do that a lot, actually.
Suspended without pay for 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's what I was like. On a scale of 1 to you'll never work in this town again. If I don't do X, Y, and Z, where am I?
Right. Yeah. Well, when things really got bad, my partner used to would just say, she's like, well, time to drop a match. I'm dropping a match and walking. So, and I'm like, well, let me grab my stapler. I'll be good to go. The other question that I had after re-listening to the book is, one of the things he kept harping on is the, as he referred to it, the poor taste of his fellow astronauts and their selection of music and entertainment. So the question I was going to ask y'all is, you're on your way to Mars. You're able to have, it's obviously quite a bit of information, like their entire, like, he said, like, tons of 70s TV shows or whatever, but you're on your way to Mars. What are you taking with you? Are you taking movies, TV, music? And if so, are you taking some, what are you taking?
TV and music.
TV and music.
Parks and the entire series of Parks and Recreation.
Mhm.
Yes.
The whole Bowie back catalog.
Epic podcast.
Well, yeah, obviously a lot of different podcasts, to be fair. Oh no, and I need my Real Housewives too. Oh, I don't like this question. This is too
Jeez.
much.
Yeah, at some point, because I don't know where I'd have to say, well, sorry, your drive, hit the maximum there. So,
Oh, Zeppelin back catalog. Get rid of Bowie. I'll take Zeppelin over Bowie any day. Yeah, the whole Led Zeppelin back catalog.
okay.
That has to go. I'll die without that.
I'd have to take a lot of 90s rock.
Yes.
90s rock.
Any band in particular?
Incubus,
Yes.
but that's more 2000s.
We could travel together, right?
Our Lady Peace.
Yeah,
A good band.
not good.
I'm other. No, just the one I'm
Gin
other.
Blossoms, or is that just me?
Sorry?
I
Any
don't,
Gin Blossoms, or is that just me?
well, Jim
Oh, yeah.
Ross from Empire Records. I like that song.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Which that movie
I
would
hear
have.
for music.
Yes.
Oh, duh. Yeah, that's going.
Hey, Eugene, there you go.
Yeah, I know. It was kind of blurry for a second there. I don't know what was happening. I'm thinking, for me, it's going to be movies and probably audiobooks. Like I said, I re-listen to a lot of audiobooks, and I'm like, okay, I could do that. I'd have to just really stock up on audiobooks, and it'd probably be things, I'm thinking like, the Star Wars trilogies, everything up to this point in the MCU, stuff like that. So,
Anything read by Ray, the guy that
Porter.
read Ray Porter.
yeah, that would be really helpful as well. So, what about you, Jen? What are you taking to Mars with you?
Everything, movies, books. The books, I guess, would have to be digital since space and weight, but music, tons of music. I mean, hours and hours of fun,
And I know it's not the superior quality, but I'd take the MP3 version so I could fit more songs on there.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
get
come on,
it.
you're going to be listening to it on headphones anyway. I don't think there might be a certain situation where you might get to blast it throughout the rest of the spaceship, but I don't know if that's going to happen too often. So,
I feel like too, like music would take precedent for me too, because like I know Eugene, you listen to a lot of audiobooks and podcasts when you're working on something, but I have to listen to music. So I feel like with all of the work and like lab work and stuff I would be doing on that ship, it would have to be mostly music that would take up most of my data.
there you go.
Yeah. Agreed.
I would prefer to take kitty cats with me, but apparently that's not allowed.
All right, so if no one has anything else they want to add to The Martian, let's go ahead and move on to Ready Player One. Actually, they just dropped a new trailer for Ready Player One. The movie is coming out next year. The trailer actually gives me a little bit more hope about it. Since we read the... I'm sorry, what?
I didn't watch it
We
yet.
haven't watched it yet.
I thought it was coming out tomorrow, but I'll have to take it.
Well, they did another one, and I saw it in the theater, and it was a little more structured. Like, it gives us a little more of the story, and I'm like, okay, this is a little better. But since we read the book, I actually met the author and got him to sign my book, which was really awesome. But did anyone have anything, looking back on that we didn't talk about that you want to bring up?
No.
No.
Okay. The question I thought about after re-listening to it and listening to the episode was, what world, based on a game, movie, book, series, whatever, would you create? Like, we talked a little bit about, we mentioned the fact that the flick syncs, where you actually go through and get to basically play the movie. We talked about some of the movies that we would like to go through and play. But there were all these different worlds that were created based on a movie or book or something like that. Does anyone have a particular book or movie or something like that you would like to see, brought to life?
First one that comes to my mind, and I think it would be a huge hit, would be The Simpsons. I mean, who hasn't wanted to be
Simpsons world would be awesome.
Yeah.
So, do you remember when they actually brought up the Simpsonized thing where you could take your picture and Simpsonize yourself and use you as a character? Like, yeah,
That was not cute as a Simpson character.
Well, then you did it wrong. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was. That's the first one that comes to my mind anyway.
It depends on what mood I'm in. All
That's
I can think
true.
of right now is Legends of the Fall.
I was going to say.
Come on!
What?
Legends of the
It's
Fall.
like one of my favorite movies.
It's a great movie.
What would I don't know?
Yeah, that.
This is going to tip my hand for next month's book, but I'd love to see that book series, Off to Be the Wizard, turned into a virtual world because it fits really well. And just the way that they handle magic and technology is just, I love it. I adore it, and I'd love to live in that world. So,
Lainey, we could create any Disney movie ever.
Clarion.
I want to do
Yeah.
the specific New Orleans that exists in Princess and the Frog. And then I want to live in the world of Wreck-It Ralph.
oh my God, that would be so awesome. That is a
I would be an awesome
good,
crush racer.
that is
You
a
would-
good answer.
Racer. We just watched Valerian in the City of 1,000 Planets last night. I'd live there. That'd be pretty cool.
Really?
That's
That movie
You know,
looks
It's
Like,
a
people-
gorgeous movie.
it got a lot of flack. It wasn't an amazing movie by
No,
any means,
but
but
it
it
was
was
beautiful.
very well done, and it wasn't a horrible story. The other one I thought of obviously is Star Trek and Star Wars. I mean,
Yeah.
obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Star
But
Wars.
here's the thing: if you lived in the Star Wars universe, is there a specific like planet that you would want to live on?
I think you get your choice of whether you want to be on a starship or you go.
Naboo. Naboo's pretty gorgeous.
Naboo's pretty cool. I've always wanted to live on Endor. That's just my dream.
That's why we named Wicket Wicket.
See,
For me, it would be I'd want to be on one of the ships and flying around and checking all the other places out. Like that's
I don't want to hang out with Guinan. Wherever she
That would
goes,
be
I don't.
awesome.
She's a cool chick.
Maz. I'd go check out Maz Kanata's
Yeah.
dude.
first Wars. Anyway, yeah, we'll flip flop back.
Nice.
This is pretty awesome.
I think
She
Maz
seems
would
like-
like you. I think she would.
I like that Wookiee.
Okay, and so no one else had anything else they wanted to add to Ready Player One?
No, it was really good.
I could name 100 worlds that I want to live in, but
Oh,
Yeah.
this is a short-
let's see here. So the next one that we read was Star Wars Catalyst. And the only thing I had for that one was, has anyone gone back and rewatched Rogue One
Rogue
since
One?
they read the book? You
I
did?
have.
Watched part
Yeah.
of it.
I did last weekend or 2 weeks ago or something.
See, I haven't. So what did reading the book add anything to the movie? Knowing the backstory now?
Yes and no.
Not really.
I mean, not like you don't really have a lot of moments where you're like, oh, it's just like I enjoyed knowing her father a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
That
all-
gave me a little more in depth to the character, but I mean, it's a nice dad in a movie. Of course, I already liked him, so
Of course.
No, it didn't add anything. I had a hard time getting through that book anyway. So
that book, the thing that got me through that book was the sound engineering on
The audio version?
the audio version.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
will-
could not have read that, but listening to it
Yeah.
was awesome.
Okay. I'm gonna try listening to it then, because
Well-
reading it just made my eyes cross. I couldn't.
We
it was
have
so
a credit.
boring.
So
Loved it. I couldn't stop reading it.
Yeah.
I listen to it sometimes now to like help me fall asleep because I find it like really soothing, settling.
Now, you do have to keep in mind that how many Star Wars books have you probably read, Jen?
Oh
A
God.
lot. A lot. I don't know. Some.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, style of it, I'm used to the style of it, I guess, but I loved it. I don't know. Watching the movie, you kind of think, oh, okay, I kind of know more why they are that way, or I really hate that guy even more knowing his backstory.
Yeah.
But I don't know that it added too much to everything.
Okay. Yeah, I
I would-
said, I haven't gone back and rewatched it, and I thought about that. I was like, man, I was going to go back and rewatch it, and I haven't. Of course, now I'm like, I guess I need to reread my notes to remember everything that happened in the book. But I do remember after reading the book thinking a little bit more of a connection to some of the characters. Like, they made a little bit more sense to me. But who knows? It may not have made that big of an impact afterwards. So the next book that we read was we switched gears and we read The Princess Diarist.
Yes, Queen.
Any thoughts on the book in particular?
I love her.
Yes, I was just going to say it made me love her more, and it just made it all that tragic too. On top of it all,
I love her so much. I miss Carrie Fisher every single day. There is not a day that goes by that I don't think about her. And that book broke my heart, but made everything so much better at the same time.
Has anyone read any more of her books?
I started. Oh, I forget which one it was, but I started another one and then I had to stop because I was reading something else.
Okay.
How many more
I
books?
have all of them in my queue. Like, I'm going to read all of them because I need to know everything.
What were you saying,
I
Jen?
love.
Oh, I didn't say
Oh,
anything.
no,
I haven't.
I just want to know how many books she'd written.
Oh, quite a few.
Yeah.
I think it's like 3 or
Yeah,
three,
she's got
maybe
3 or 4.
yeah.
Okay.
It's on my to-do list still. I've
I
got
love
some books to catch up on.
Mm-hmm.
So thoughts on we're less than 2 weeks? We're just over a week now from seeing her for the last time on the big screen.
I don't feel
Yeah.
like I'm ready. Like, I can't watch the previews without crying.
I
don't know what I'm going to do.
I've heard that they've saved some of her scenes for episode 9, so that finishes her story off with 9.
That I'm fine. I would be fine with that. I don't like the way they did her at the end of what's it called? At the end of Rogue One.
Rogue One.
That was one of my biggest problems with Rogue One. But if it's her actually doing it, I wouldn't. I don't mind. So.
No, it wasn't her daughter.
I thought, oh no, it was her. She played it, and then they CGI'd her. That's right.
Yeah.
There's photos of her daughter that look exactly like she did too. So I mean, if they really had to make,
Well, no, well, she's only like in her early 20s. So.
no, I know,
Yeah,
but
Billy Lord's like
but really good
22.
stand for that part at that particular time. But anyway, we're splitting hairs now. So
Yeah. That's gonna be interesting next week.
God.
So.
I'm just. I'm excited to see it, and I'm really not excited to see it.
oh no, I'm
excited.
I'm going.
I'm gonna go. It's just. Oh, it's gonna be it's a glass case of emotion, and I just don't know.
Yeah, I'm going opening night. So.
Me
Yes,
too.
you are. I never
then-
go opening.
What'd you say, Jen?
Me too, and the next night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
So there was actually, speaking of all this, there's a really good rule that one of my buddies has. Knowing that not everybody can go on to opening night and all that stuff, he has put on his Facebook and his Instagram feeds. His blackout will end on 23:59 on Saturday night. So Sunday midnight, he will be posting about it. So if you haven't seen it, apparently. So I like that rule. Wait till this Saturday night and Sunday morning type thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I feel like I don't like to go see movies like this on opening night because I can't stand all the people in the theater. I just can't do it. It's too much. Every time anyone shows up, everyone's screaming. I just want to watch the movie, and I don't want to be packed in like sardines. Like, don't touch me. But
Wrong people.
yeah, but I just don't shut up. I don't care about spoilers either. So I feel like it's okay. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm still going to see it. It's whatever.
What?
You and Lainey can go see the movie together then.
Those
Yeah.
that too. She
I
doesn't
know
care.
none of them hate spoilers. I'm sorry.
Care. Because I'm the person that didn't watch Breaking Bad until like 3 years after it started.
Mm-hmm.
So it's whatever. I don't care.
I don't
like you can spoil it for me. I still want to watch it.
Yeah.
Well,
I want to be surprised in the movie and like not, know what's coming up. Because otherwise I'm like, why am I watching this? Why did I pay money for this?
Story. I need the whole story. So, because people spoil stuff for me all the time, I will request that Parker spoil Game of Thrones. He won't, but I'll ask him to all the time. Because I make him watch it the day before I do.
It makes me watch it because I want to know how it happened.
Yes, that's me. I need to know everything leading up to it.
Yes.
That's important.
I'm like, oh, I can't wait for the part.
Yeah, because then it's like suspenseful because I'm like, it's coming. He's going to smush that guy. Woohoo. So, yeah.
Chris was like that with the new Avengers trailer.
Yes.
We're watching the trailer and we're going through all of it. I already saw it. She's it gets to the end part where it just shows like the Avengers and she's like, meh. I'm like, just wait.
Sounds like me.
She's like, well, why? They didn't even talk about the Guardians of the Galaxy or anything. I said, just a second. Oh. And then of course that scene comes on and she's like, that's better.
I get it.
That's hilarious.
That's the whole reason why I want to watch the movie.
Well, there you go.
Thor and the Guardians.
Yep.
Then you're good.
Then I'm fine.
I need some Hulk.
Whatever it takes. All right, let's move on to our next book. The next book that we read was Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Is there anyone on, and I forgot to ask this about some of the previous books, but anyone on this episode that was not on the episode where we reviewed it?
I was on, but I had read it a few years before and totally misremembered it because I was so lost when you guys were talking about it. I'm like, oh no, I'm just going to stay silent because I don't remember any of this stuff. I just remember really hating the movie.
That's hilarious.
And I think I hated the movie so bad that I didn't read the book.
Uh-huh.
I was just, I was like, really? Like, I
Yeah.
can't enjoy it. Yeah, so.
I never saw the movie, so
That's
Oh,
terrible.
don't.
Oh.
If there was anything in the book that you liked, don't watch the movie.
Because
Because
ruin
I've
it.
seen both. I still like the book. I really do still like the book. And I will go back and listen to it again. But that movie was blah.
Am I high, or did Billy Bob Thornton play Abraham Lincoln in that movie?
No, he did not, and you might be high.
Okay, then who played him in that movie?
Oh, okay.
I don't remember.
Didn't Billy Bob Thornton play a president?
in Love Actually.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Somebody like a big and important and weird played Abraham Lincoln. Who was it?
Lewis?
Daniel Day-Lewis played it in Lincoln movie, not.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking of. Fun fact, I get Daniel Day-Lewis and Billy Bob Thornton mixed up a
Oh my
lot.
god.
It was Benjamin Walker was Abraham Lincoln in the 2012 version.
Surely didn't do a lot for his career now, did it?
Nope, it did not.
It didn't do a lot for anyone's crew who was in that movie. Oof.
Burn.
Yeah. The only thing I had after re-listening to it again was, because we actually talked about it pretty in depth, was are there any fictional history mashups that you'd like to see that haven't been done yet? So you've got Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter. You got things like Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, Sense and Sensibility and Sea Monsters.
This, I don't know if this really counts as like a mashup with like sci-fi or fantasy, but in the movie A Knight's Tale, one of the characters is Geoffrey Chaucer.
Yes.
And the movie is supposed to take, there is a period of time in Chaucer's life when everybody kind of lost track of him and no one's really 100% sure what he was doing. And the premise of his role in the movie is that that's what he was doing. He like lost all his money and was walking around naked. Mm-hmm. And started working with Will and the other guys and running around and pretending to be a nobleman and competing. I've seen this movie quite a few times, if you can't tell.
So lots of times.
So fucking good. But I would like to see some kind of like a novelization of that like dark period in Chaucer's life. I think that would be really interesting. And whether it's stuck to that idea of him running around being basically the barker for this man being a knight, whatever. Mm-hmm. But I would love that. I would read the shit out of that.
That'd be a good one. I know they've made a comic book about it, but there is a comic book out there. But Han Solo and Indiana Jones.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
I think it'd be a kind of a wicked little movie, some sort.
Mm-hmm.
I'd almost like to see him continue on with this and see other presidents fighting vampires. Or just some other awesome presidents doing some other awesome shit, like
Blade.
Theodore Roosevelt, like fighting werewolves with his bare hands, would be fucking awesome.
I would read the shit out of that. What about like Edgar Allan Poe doing something weird?
Do what now?
What about like Edgar Allan Poe doing something kind of weird?
Edgar Allan Poe, Jack the Ripper.
Ooh, Jack the Ripper. Yeah.
Oh, I would read the shit out of that.
There you go.
That's everything I like.
Well, there wasn't a president in that movie, but Cowboys versus Aliens had like...
It had a wonderful, wonderful like idea. Just the execution wasn't all that great.
That's what everyone says about the movie.
If you think about it, like, why do aliens, if they were to come to Earth, they could come at any period in time. So they could have come back before we were this technologically advanced, and who knows what would have happened, you know? They probably would have had a lot easier time beating us, but maybe not.
True fact.
Sally likes my ideas. My idea of Roosevelt versus werewolves.
Roosevelt versus werewolf. I love it. We were just talking about him in class the other day, and he really was. I kept getting frustrated because my kids were studying him, and I kept trying to explain. I was like, no, you got to dig deeper. You got to dig deeper. Blah blah blah. Like really, really read the article or really read the book that you're reading about him. Like look into it. It's really cool. He's really cool. And finally they understood like how much of a badass he was. I like directed them to the section about like the Rough Riders. I was like, look at this man. He's cool. Check him out.
Now that I think about it, I'm going to have to look and make sure no one has already written that book. That just sounds like too awesome of an idea for it to not be a real thing.
Hey, you should write it or copyright it, you know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Chris is raising her hand.
Yes.
Why was Teddy Roosevelt so badass?
Don't forget we're
the National Park Service.
Yeah, he started the National Park Service. Basically,
okay.
The man worked out. The man like he was basically like a roughneck president. Like he had fucking bears and shit at the White House. He's like, I don't give a fuck. This is my pet bear.
He was also very like kind and like courteous to people. Like didn't fuck around. He is what a lot of these like bullshit wannabe macho men that walk around like wish that they could be. He's just a true example of like a dude.
So he's what Putin's trying to be.
Yes, and failing miserably.
Failing miserably.
Sai says Kennedy, the original Ghostbuster, and I'm like, oh hell yeah.
That's a presidency I'm obsessed with.
Do yourself a favor after the show, look up the epic rap battle between Theodore Roosevelt and I can't remember who's bad. It's like one of the last battles they ever did, and it's fucking awesome. Because I mean, you know, being an epic rap battle, you know, all the stuff that they talk about in it is based on fact. So, and it lists some of the awesome ass shit that he did. So, anyway, all right. So the next book on our list was "You're Never Weird on the Internet." Was there anyone on this episode that wasn't there the first time?
I didn't read it. You didn't read it.
I didn't read it.
Oh, neither one of y'all read it. Okay.
Missed that one.
Yeah.
This is also another book that I have got to meet the author since we read it and had her sign the book. And it's funny, I re-listened to her book before I got the chance to meet her at Austin Comic Con. And so as I was going through, I was like, well, what am I going to ask her? Because I'll probably have a chance to ask her one question. What question am I going to ask her? And she doesn't really say how she got the part on Dr. Horrible. So
Oh yeah.
That's
Who
what
doesn't? That's a good point.
That's what I asked her. I said, you kind of glossed over it in your book. And she goes, oh, I thought I had said something about that. And I'm thinking maybe she wrote a chapter and it got cut or something. But it's not super in depth or anything. But basically what it boils down to is she was picketing during the writer strike, along with
her.
a bunch of other actors and actresses and directors and writers and everything. And she ran into this guy, and he said, hey, I'm kind of thinking about doing this. Thing to raise some money to help, like, the people who are really being affected by this, not just the writers, but like the crew members and stuff that have lost their insurance.
This guy named Josh.
Yeah, it's this little guy named Joss Whedon, and he's like, hey, I think I've got a part for this. Some of my friends are going to be it. Would you be interested? And it literally was just like that type of a conversation, and I'm just like, are you kidding me? That's fucking awesome.
So it's next to Joss Whedon in a picket line.
I know, right?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So, so the question that I came up with after, re-listening to it or whatever for the group is, what things have you gotten sucked into and become extremely focused on? And you may not be that type of personality. I am that type of personality. Like, once I finished my master's program, we had stopped playing video games while I was doing my master's. And once I finished it, I was like, oh, hey, I want an Xbox. And Xbox 360 specifically. And my wife was hesitant to let me get one because she's like, you kind of have an addictive personality. And I'm like, yeah, I know. So, yeah.
Yeah, literally life.
Do what?
Literally everything in life.
Okay, thank you. So it's not just me.
Yeah.
Video games, podcasting, 3D printing. Yeah.
You just do things like casually. You have to go all in, like buy all the stuff.
Yeah, duh.
Subscribe, research, and meet all the people. And yeah, that's how I am.
I'm not like that.
So you're not like that?
No, I'm not. I'm just. I don't have I don't have that type of personality.
I do.
More like if I like it, I'll do it for a while, and then I get bored.
Mm-hmm.
So.
You just think you're stuck with.
Ray's the longest thing I've stuck with.
There you go.
I get really upset. Like, I get obsessed about like specific authors or like actors or actresses and things like that. So if I like somebody, I'll like read everything they've written or watch everything they're in or something like that. I do that. But
I get that. I'm like that with that kind of stuff. But I also like, it's not a fun answer, but I'm like that with my job this year, especially. I'm very like obsessive compulsive with it, but also fucking murderers and music. I have to know everything about all the murderers, Eugene.
Oh, I know.
Crime porn.
Watching Mindhunter was like playing like Guess Who, basically.
So Kristen and I started watching that, and it is really good. What's funny is we've kind of taken a break while she's doing some other stuff, and I have one episode left of American Vandal, and I have to finish that shit. And of course the chat room has gone off to their own thing. I'm seeing things here like Reagan Super Spy, Andrew Jackson versus Ninjas, George Washington Time Traveler, any president versus The Walking Dead. How about every president versus The Walking Dead? Anyway.
Wait, did you guys see, speaking of presidents, the wax figure museum skit that John Oliver did?
Oh God.
No.
Oh my God. They bought 5 of the presidential wax
yes,
when they sold it.
That. Yeah.
And he made a skit with Tom Hanks. It was so funny.
Yeah, and Tom Hanks at the end, and it felt almost like the Da
Vinci Code.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It was so good.
If you haven't seen that, Google it, because it's so stupid. They have these wax figures doing the stupidest things, and
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to go check that out afterwards.
Yeah, it's really good because they do it like Tom Hanks is at the end of the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Spoil it. I haven't seen it yet.
have we been watching John Oliver? Remember when he buys the five?
Oh, that whole thing. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was pretty funny. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But it wasn't Tom.
Tom Hanks at the end with all 5 presidents, and it sounded like
It's President, Mr.
Oh.
President.
Mr.
Yeah, I missed that one.
Mr. President.
Yeah, I just remember the it was the statues that I remember. He bought the different statues, and he bought Stephen Colbert. That was
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go watch that now.
It's-
That sounds hilarious. All right, well, now time for a downer. The next book that we read was 1984.
Oh, God.
Fucking yikes.
That's 2018. What?
I still haven't finished it. I can't bring myself to
So
read
yeah,
it.
I wasn't on, but I read it in high school. So.
Okay, thoughts?
Oh,
Pressing.
it terrifies me how close we are right now,
Yep.
and
That's why I can't read it.
that's why Chris can't finish it.
It's too close to home.
The thing that's freaking me out, like, and I hate to be one of those people, but you know, you hear about the TVs that are listening on the conversations, and they're supplying the so LG or Samsung or whoever makes they're listening on the conversation so that they can hear about it. Somebody's testing out their phones now so that if they don't have a cat, they've never searched about a cat, but if they keep talking about a cat, eventually they see cat food ads pop up on their feeds and stuff like that. So they're just it's
Somewhere. No, my sorry. Go
Y'all
ahead.
should spark up a conversation with Parker about this because he will go on for hours about robots and yeah.
well, yeah. Well, I mean, he's part of it, right? He works for the CIA, so
Yes, he does.
so it's just it's one of those things of how connected we are as well as how observed we are now is pretty terrifying. I got nothing to hide, so I don't really give a shit. But
Yeah.
What got me was the big part about how the government changes the history and nobody questions it, and just even the littlest thing, and just watching what's going down with Trump in the media, and like
I have a
everything is
little
fake.
secret
And
for you.
what?
White men have been doing that since the fucking beginning of time.
I know, but
but the problem is right now, in a day and age where we have proof,
Yes.
especially against a particular president, they continue to try and deny certain things, and it's like
deniability, and you're like, "That's not true. Why do you keep saying it?"
you're an ass. But
It's
anyway.
alternative facts.
Yes, I guess, and part of it is because I've never really paid attention to politics or anything like that before until our recent election for prime minister. And so I guess I'm a little bit more aware now.
Aware and awoken.
Woke. I'm
Whoa!
God.
That's right, girls. Stay woke.
Whoa.
woke. Mm,
Tone woke, as I like to.
I don't think
I didn't
Yeah,
have
what-
any additional thoughts on it because we went into it pretty deep, and it is.
Yeah.
I'm still glad that I read it. I don't foresee. To me, the book is just like, okay, everyone needs to read it just so that you're exposed to the ideas and some of the theories and stuff in it. But the actual story itself is not all that great, and it's not like it's not like, oh, hey, I'm time to read it again this year because it's one of my yearly books. So yeah.
No, it's not like that.
Does anybody else see the irony in the 1984 commercial from Apple, where they have the Olympic person running up and throwing the hammer through the thing, and it's all it's very stagnant place, right? Do you remember which commercial I'm talking about?
No, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know the commercial.
Okay, so you look at Apple now, and they're now the top dog, and they're the ones that are kind of, I don't know. I just see some irony in that.
No, I can definitely see the. I can definitely see the drawing the resemblance there. I was going to say, on the other hand, at least Apple is willing to go to bat right now for users' rights, whereas Google's like, oh no, you want the information? Here you go.
Yeah.
Here's the keys. Lock up when you're done.
Yeah.
It's just like, what? Seriously? But anyway.
That is true.
Wrong,
and I do appreciate that.
Yeah, wrong show. All right, so let's go ahead and keep the downer train moving and go on to The Handmaid's Tale.
Oh, you want to talk about stuff that scares the fuck out of me that I feel like is going to happen?
Were you on that? I don't know if you were on that episode.
No,
Lainey.
because I couldn't read it because it scared the fuck out of me.
I haven't read it either. I can't.
It feels too real. Like it's giving me like heart palpitations just thinking about it. Like I can't. This is why I hit the gym so hard. This is why I'm getting so strong. And this is why I'm trying to get so fast. Because if this ever happens, I swear to God, I'm not going down without a fight.
Well, we talked about that, and my thought process. Number one, the biggest thing about 1984 and The Handmaid's Tale that, and who knows, this may be false thought process on this, but the biggest difference between those possibly becoming real and what we have today keeping us from being able to do that is the internet. Because like Chris said, in 1984, oh, hey, we change a fact, we burn all the books or the newspapers and it's changed. And everybody knows that once stuff goes on the internet, it never goes away. It's somewhere, someplace. It's never going away.
Somebody screenshotted it.
So everyone who's ever had a nude picture posted knows all about that. But yeah, so once again, another book. Now let me ask this: has anyone watched the series on Hulu? I've heard good things about it. I've never gone back to watch it though.
I would really like to, but again.
You're like, why do I want to watch something that's going to stress me the fuck out?
Well, that's the thing. It's like when I watched The Keepers, I had to start changing the time of day I was watching it. I could only watch The Keepers on the weekends during the middle of the day because when I watched it right before bed, I would wake up in the morning horribly depressed. So I can't imagine what this would do to me. I don't know.
It's so weird and so out there, though. It's just.
Also, Parker made some really good. We had a long in-depth conversation about it one day, and he made some really good points about that there's a lot of things that would be in place that would keep that from happening. He's like, that, right? I was like, I don't know. I was very upset.
Well, even and so one of the things was it seemed in the book like it was very quick that all of a sudden it was like, okay, women all of a sudden have no rights, and I'm just like. Yeah, we keep going back and forth on some shit, but and as much as Republican as the state of Texas is, I don't see anyone easily saying, oh, by the way, your moms and wives and sisters and girlfriends are now property. I don't see that flying with most people here. I'm sure there's a subgroup, but most of us are going to be like, fuck you, they are.
That's what Parker said too.
Really making sure that something like that passes.
I'm gonna say they did slip in some, reproductive rights talk on a tax bill, but whatever.
Yeah.
I say that might not be happening or might not happen that easily, but there are things that are already happening where women's rights are getting denied and nobody's noticing or caring enough to do anything.
Well, nobody thinks it's that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as they're concerned, you can vote and you can work. What the hell else do you want? So,
nice
equal rights. It's whatever. I'm a fucking person, but whatever.
I want to see that banner. Equal rights. It's whatever.
Whatever. Fuck me, right?
Yeah.
It's like a T-shirt.
Yeah. The next book that we read was Unstoppable by Bill Nye. Has anyone gone through and read any of his other books?
I haven't read his other books, but I have gone through and looked for some statistics and facts from this book on multiple occasions, just to have them in my back pocket in case I need them. Mm-hmm. So, but I want to read a lot of his other books, though.
Jen, what about you?
I haven't read him yet. I have his newest book, but haven't had a chance to read it. I generally can't read more than one book at a time, and since we have one book a month, that's kind of been it for me. So,
has anyone watched any of his Netflix series?
Yes.
I watched the first episode, but I haven't watched any more. Of course, I haven't really been watching a lot of TV, but
Watched the
Quinn's
whole
watched,
thing
I think,
3
the whole
times.
series at least 3 times.
He's watched every episode.
Yes.
oh,
Tell him he
nice.
can come hang out with me. I'll watch it with him.
Yeah, he loves it. He just loves the whole. I think it's great too. I love it.
Hey, and you know what? I'm good with him watching that because it's
At least it's facts.
Yeah.
At least
Yeah.
he's
The only thing I wish that there was more like true like hands-on experiments, because that's something that I really loved from the original show. But I get that this is not necessarily geared specifically towards kids. It's like
Right.
everybody.
Well, yeah, and he
So I get
specifically
it.
said that. So
Yeah. And I get that. And it's fine. I do. One of the things that I love about Bill Nye videos, and one of the reasons that I still show them in my class today, is because a lot of the stuff that he would do would put things into terms that a kid could understand. Like I still remember this, and I still use it with my kids now when we do our space unit, is in one of the shows he does, there's, he has a big, massive ball, basically an empty ball, and he's trying to explain how large the sun is, and he shows them like on a scale, like, okay, this is how big the sun would be if we shrunk it down to this scale. This is how big the earth would be if we shrunk it down to that same scale. Look at how many of these I can fit inside of the sun. That has still stuck with me for 20 years. Like it still makes sense to me to this day. So, but yeah, that's one of the things I love about him.
he's very good at explaining things in regular people terms and like drawing metaphors. Like the beginning of the book, he started out with, think of the earth as your house. Would you treat your house this way? You know, like,
do you
let's
rent
look like
it
we're
or do
owners.
you own it?
Yeah.
It's
Well,
very good interpretive technique.
the only exception that I'll say is he took a shot at the nuclear industry
Oh yeah, you did not like that.
a few years ago
Oh.
in an interview, and I can't remember if it was CNN or I can't remember what it was, but he took a shot. And listen, that man knows his science, and what he was quoting, unfortunately, was not that accurate with regards to radiation and specifically what people were being exposed to. So that part of it, he was being he was sensationalizing a lot of stuff, and it was like, you're not talking truth right now. So other than that,
I feel like too, the thing I do like about him too is I feel like if you went to him with like those specific facts too and like really showed it to him, he'd be like, oh, okay. And
fair enough.
Appreciate that about him.
Yeah.
People get nervous whenever they hear nuclear or anything though.
I know. I will say though, I did like that on the show, he did allow people that were, either for it or against it. They were all on the panel together. That was actually really good.
Yes.
The Netflix series. It was cool to see all the sides of it, and he allowed everybody to speak. Sometimes he was a little short with the people that he disagreed with, but
well, it is his show.
He's also, unfortunately, from what I have heard, when you like truly meet him in like a real life scenario, he is not the nicest.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I appreciate all the teaching he's done. So, but I don't know. I don't know with him. I do though, the episodes that he did about, there's 2 in particular that I want to make every single person I know watch. The one about medicine that he does. Where he talks about like the alternative medicine. Because if I have one more person tell me I should try going on a cleanse, I'll fucking hit him with a juice bottle or something. And then the one, oh God, what was the other one? Oh, and then the one on dieting.
Yes.
And the food that you eat.
Yeah, we watched that one in this house to make sure, and then Logan watched it too, and she
felt a lot better. It was,
felt so much
it was
better
really to see the relief. Well, yeah, because I didn't know, and for her, she's almost 12, and she's getting that age where everybody's starting to look different. And when she heard the scientific fact about, look, 70% of your genetic makeup, the way your body is, there's nothing you can do about it, and she's like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She doesn't look like the other. I mean, she's 5'5" and she's 11 years old. Like, she doesn't look like the rest of her class.
No.
She doesn't look like the rest of the girls. Looks a lot older, and it was kind of freaking her out a little bit.
Yeah.
12 is hard.
Yeah. So once she heard that, and she's like, "Well, not my fault," and she kind of moved on.
There you go. There you go.
Well, I appreciated a lot of the stuff that was pointed out on that too, of like, because they had the like super fit woman on there too, and I love the fact that someone said something to her and she was like, "Yeah, this isn't an accident. Like, I don't look like this because I woke up one day and I looked like this. Like,
it's a lot of work.
This is work that I've had to put in a gym, and so these are gains, but a lot of this is genetic."
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a good episode.
The last two books that we read were The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Personal favorite by the Canadians there, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Has anyone read any of the other books in the series?
No.
I read the second one after that one.
What did
And then
you
I had
think?
to start on Bob.
How was it?
It's good. I liked it. It was, that same British stupid humor, but
Mhm.
I like that kind of stuff, so it worked for me.
We tried to get through the audiobook. It's written by Stephen Fry.
What, the second one or the first
The
one?
first one.
Yeah, we got to the audiobook.
And well, I know, but at first it's like, I don't know.
I love Stephen Fry.
I love Stephen Fry, I do. And then there's some times where as I'm driving, it's kind of droning on.
Mhm.
It's like, oh no, I'm driving. I can't do that.
I didn't know that.
There's just a couple of times where it's like, I'm not. But yeah. But I already knew the story and everything too, so that didn't help.
Yeah. No, I definitely understand that there are certain audiobooks that I'm like, nope, can't listen to this while I'm driving. At least not early in the morning or late at night.
Yeah. I think I was working nights at the time too, so
Oh,
maybe that's what it was.
That could be it too. So
that never bodes well for you.
well, does anyone else have anything they want to add about the Hitchhiker's Guide?
Oh, there was. If I can find it, I'll have to share it on the back channel, or we'll try and post it somewhere. There was a theory about the number 42.
Oh yeah, I sent that. So you did see that, right?
I saw it, and I haven't finished it. I don't think. Obviously, I haven't finished it yet. But can you give me the gist of what?
Okay, now I have not checked this. I probably should check this before I say this, but I'll go ahead and put it out there anyway. I saw a posting on Facebook that said that the choice of 42 is not random. Because he used to be a programmer, he chose 42 because I think it was 42 in Hexy is hex code is a star, which if you're doing searches means anything, everything. So in essence, he was saying the answer to what is the answer to life and meaning and everything, and the answer is, well, it's everything. It's whatever you want it to be. And I was like, I like that. That
sounds like the kind of answer that author would give too. Basically.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That makes sense.
I'm just trying to look it up right now.
Born Distracted said, I saw the movie version of Hitchhiker. Yikes, it was weird.
It's good.
Wait till you read it.
My favorite movies.
Like he specifically wrote yikes. All right, which brings us to our last book and actually why we did the topic that we did tonight. We Are Legion, We Are Bob. I have reread this series again. I fucking love this series. Thank you, Ray. Thank you for suggesting this series.
Sean.
Yeah, thanks, Sean.
Yep.
Yes, thanks, Sean. Okay, so the first thing that was brought up was when Bob finds the Deltons and they start, they do have a quick back and forth. Him and Garfield, I think, have the back and forth, about, well, how much are you going to interfere here, Bob? Like, and they even bring up the Prime Directive at some points, both with the Deltans and with the some of the other, with the other race. But
and the Captain Picard stance on that one, where it's like, fuck that.
yeah,
These
so
people are dying. And
I was going to ask all that because Jennifer's actually the one that kind of brought it up on the show, and like I said, we started talking about something else and never went back to it. So, given now, how do I put this? In general, what are your thoughts on interfering with? We're going to go other species. We're going to say oh my God, we found out Mars actually does have some kind of life.
Not surprised.
I think there's a moral thing there where you have to give it every chance that you can to let it thrive on its own. And I appreciate Bob interfering when he realizes that they're going to go extinct.
Yeah. So
it's almost a moral obligation, in my opinion. Anyway, it's a very human aspect there, but because there's even on Earth, they're having that debate. There's the faction that believes that humanity needs to end there and with Earth because we couldn't even save ourselves, so why bother? In the book, right? The vehement. Yeah, they're like, let us end with this because we had our chance and we screwed it up. But I think, that's just my take on it anyway, is you got to give it every chance to do it by itself, and then if you let fuck up horrible somehow, then you got to step in.
Jennifer, did you have a specific thought on this since you were the one that brought up the question originally?
Well, I've thought a lot about this since we read the book, and I'm kind of torn because on the one hand, you have this sentient species that has the potential to do great things, but who are you to say that they should survive over the other one? And if you do nothing, then obviously they die out, and if you help them, then you could be handicapping them because then they're dependent on you, or they don't learn the things they need to learn along the way, like we did.
They touch on that very briefly in the book too, I thought, where he said, one of them says, their intelligence might be becoming because they were being eaten by the Grilloids, and that's why their intelligence started. So, but again, they were going to be wiped out completely. So, what do you do?
Like they couldn't keep up intelligence-wise with the rate of desecration.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you kind of run into that weird thing too, where I hadn't finished the book, I don't think, when we were on the show. Mm-hmm. And I mentioned I can see them looking at him like a god and making a religion out of him, and then by the end of the book, they were already building shrines to him. So then you have this thing about, so is that where all religions come from? Is some alien force decides to literally play God, and then they get credit, and that's how.
See, but
I would buy that.
Like what happens in the next 2 books with that whole thing too, though.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I'm excited to see where that goes because I'm sure that.
Oh, it's good.
It's good. So good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Ray, in that normally it would be okay, let's we take a scan of this planet, we find it, we find there's life there. Okay, that's cool. Let's just hands off. Let's see what happens. Obviously, we're not going to inhabit this planet, and then. Because it's very obvious that, the Deltans are there's not a lot of them left and they're getting killed off pretty quickly. And if something doesn't change pretty quickly, they're not gonna make it. I'm coming at it from the background of there's several podcasts I listen to, and a couple of them talk about, space travel and so on and so forth. And even though, granted, we're just dipping our toe into space travel, we're just now possibly about to get to another planet.
We have one piece of equipment that has gone interstellar, so
yeah. It's how many other civilizations are there really out there that are intelligent? And it's like, yeah, we probably need, of course, now let's keep this in frame of the book. In frame of the book, technically the Deltans are the first intelligent life that the Bobs have met. And the Bobs have not gone a lot of other places yet. But that being said, I think I would still err on the side of what Bob did and be like, yeah, I kind of need to step in here because what if this is the only one? Like literally, what are we going to do if in 1,000 years ago, yeah, humanity pretty much, colonized the universe. Would have been nice to meet someone else, but they all died. So
and we met them, but we decided to leave them alone.
Exactly. Yeah. Because life is one thing. Finding life on other planets, I really do think at some point we are going to find life on other planets. There's just too many planets and too many civilizations, or too many stars and solar systems, and I really think we're going to find life on other planets. Whether or not we find intelligent life is where we start getting to the iffy.
Whether or not they find intelligent life.
So
there's intelligent life out there. The problem is that the timelines just, you can't, like what we're looking at now for over the light years. Look at how many light years we're talking.
Oh yeah.
And so that
they already came when we were cavemen and the dinosaurs were here, so we missed our shot.
Pyramids, man.
Pyramids, man. Oh, the other question I wanted to bring up was your thoughts on terraforming Ragnarok.
There was no sign of life.
Why not?
You can do it. Why not?
Yeah.
Now,
science experiment.
Yeah.
It is. It was. Let's see if I can do it.
Now that being said, there's no sign of life that we know of. So you got to be pretty broad in your like what is actually life, and because maybe there's just some form of RNA or DNA that they weren't checking for or whatever. But
true.
I would say
that's what happened on Earth. I think somebody was just playing, doing an experiment and left us, and this is what happened.
Could be.
Well,
Yikes.
Yikes.
God is a great scientist.
but yeah, I mean, if it's just a planet that happens to have a bit of an atmosphere and you can help it out, why not? The whole Mars thing. Now, there was somebody else that they, I can't remember which article it was, but I was reading an article about them terraforming Mars, and they said it would be such a disappointment because right now, if you were able to stand on Mars and look up at the sky, it would look like a sunset to us all the time during the day because I guess the sky is red there all the time. But at night, when the sun is going to set, it actually goes blue. So it's kind of the opposite of what we have now. And how dare us humans change that because it would benefit us. There's that train of thought too. But as far as I'm concerned, is you can use a planet and there's no other reason for that planet right now. Why not?
Also, when you're talking about do we have the right to affect a species like that? I mean, we kind of already do that on Earth. Not that it's very intelligent life, but we kind of basically say, fuck everybody else. The planet's ours, and we don't care if we kill you off or.
We affect intelligent life. Look at dolphins. It's.
Yeah.
An octopus.
Mm-hmm.
Octopus. Yeah.
Octopus is alien, Joe.
Hey, they have did you see
they are.
cities and stuff down in the oceans?
No, their DNA, most plants and animals, most animals, we're 80% compatible DNA wise with pretty much everything on the planet except for fucking octopuses. We are nowhere close to a fucking octopus.
Because they're fucking smarter than us, yo.
Because they're fucking alien, Joe. That's why.
Yeah.
Well, I think we found a new YouTube channel for it. So.
Fucking alien.
You know what Janine's afraid of?
There's a whole podcast I listen to and it's hilarious. That's one of the running things is octopus is alien, Geo. Because anytime someone brings up something, it's like, yeah, did you see that video where the octopus like literally got out, crawled around, grabbed a tool, and did all this shit? And like, fuck that, man. That's scary shit.
They're so cool. I love octopus. They're so fucking
And Finding
cool.
Dory, that octopus was pretty hilarious.
Yeah,
Oh,
he is.
By the way, just a side note, do you know why he only had 7 tentacles?
Because it would have broke the budget of the movie to do an 8th one.
It literally would have broke the servers at Pixar to do an 8th tentacle. And I was like, I'm dead serious.
But why?
Yep.
Because
it's
the rendering on it was so in depth. They literally were like, if we put another limb on this octopus, it's going to break our server.
The detail that goes into the animation of those Nemo movies is insane. Like, I watched a behind the scenes about it. It was fucking crazy.
The chat room. Well, any other thoughts anyone wants to add on there about We Are Legion, We Are Bob, or any of the other books that we've read? All right.
I just can you guys get through the other books for We Are Legion, We Are Bob, so we can talk about the whole series as one?
I'm gonna work on it. How many are there? There's 2 more.
There's 2 more.
Yeah.
And believe me, once you start going down that rabbit hole, you'll be like, all right, well, done with 2, time to pick up 3.
That's what I should have been working on this last month, but I've been trying to get through a non-sci-fi book, thinking, okay, this is my month to do other things, and obviously, yeah, still working on that too.
We need to have a conversation here. I'm sure we'll do it offline, but we need to have a conversation here and start planning our next couple of books. I even halfway thought about maybe we should go ahead and just plan like maybe the rest of the year. We'll see. Or plan 2018, our book reading schedule, because I've already got several ideas as to books that I'd like to see us read, and we could all throw them out there and vote and figure it out. So we may be doing that here pretty quick.
We have 2 or 3 months now, right?
Do it now?
Don't we have 2 or 3 months figured out already?
We've got at least the next 2 months figured out. So, well, that's it for our show, ladies and gentlemen. Our next book, like I said, was going to be this month's book, which is Off to Be the Wizard by Scott Meyer. We will be reading that for next month. Has anyone started on it yet?
Nope.
I've got it downloaded, ready to go.
I love this book series. It may seem like a little slow until there's a part where all of a sudden you're going to be like, okay, I get what's going on, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do, because I love this series. So yeah, if you we'll be reading Off to Be the Wizard for December. So with that said, what has everyone else been reading? Have you been reading anything else, Lainey?
Fucking bullshit that I get handed at work.
How about the kids stuff, handing stuff in, or like?
Yes, but no. I'm talking mostly about shit that other adults hand me that say, "Hey, you should read this," and I go, "No, fucking read it to me, you asshole! I'm not reading this." No,
You just see you looking at somebody going, no.
I do that all the time.
You don't. Are you new? Like, no.
I'm not gonna do that.
You should almost print out like a picture of Grumpy Cat with like the little word bubble that says no, and whenever people hold it up, you just like literally hold that up in front of your face. Be like, no.
I think the lady in charge of my work knows too, because every time she tells us to do anything, I just kind of look up at her and go,
yeah, pass. Ray, have you been reading anything else?
No, I haven't read any more of the book that I talked about last month, which was the new Dan Brown one.
Mm-hmm.
Is that good? Or you said you want to start?
I'm right at the part where it's going to start getting into the story. It's taking a little bit longer than usual for me to read because I've been doing a whole bunch of other stuff.
puppies.
The puppy eats into that too. And then by the time I'm ready for bed, I just pass out. And and then, and then at work, I've got, we're doing a bunch of training lately. So I've got all that stuff I need to read as well. So that's that's taking up a bunch of time. So, yeah.
I'm a bitch when you read shit.
Chris, have you been reading anything?
I started Armada.
Okay.
Started that. I think I'm like 3 or 4 chapters in.
Okay.
It's good. I think it's going to be good. I had a conversation with the person I borrowed the book from, and he's like, "It's not as good. It's all right, but it's not as good as Ready Player One."
Is it the same storyline, or is it a completely different book?
No,
Completely
it's really
different.
Yeah, it takes place in present time, and it's a teenager. So it's the same sort of main character, and it is video game based too. So big video game references so far from what I've read, but I mean it intrigued me.
I will say even now, it is not as good as Ready Player One. That being said, I still enjoyed it, and the second time I read it, it got better because I knew what to expect, and so I did enjoy it better the second time around. Just realize that it is not going to be Ready Player One caliber, but it's still good, and just enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah, and I already know going in, so I'm not expecting huge, mind-blowing, holy crap, this is awesome. You're like, yes, great.
Okay. Jennifer, what else are you reading? Or are you reading anything?
Yeah, I've been working on Hunger by Roxane Gay. It was on Emma Watson's book club last month, I think.
Are you enjoying it? Because I really want to read that.
It's really depressing and sad, but I think it's like one of those people need to read because it's hard to read, you know?
Yeah. Did you read her first book?
No, I haven't read her before, and she's a good author, and I'm really like, it's hard to get through because it's about how she was raped as a girl and how she just like started eating to basically make herself unattractive to men, and then all the things she's gone through since then, you know. It's called Hunger, A Memoir to My Body, so it is sad, but I think it's the kind of thing people need to read and be exposed to so that we can have conversations about things like that. So definitely, yeah, it's a good read, and it's easy to read. It's just finding the time to get through it, and I'm actually reading it, so it takes a little longer. That's it, other than like the Sierra Club magazine.
Yeah. I'm looking through my list here. I actually, like I said, I've had to go back and start redoing inventory again. I went back and reread the Bobiverse books and needed something else, so I went back and redid The Martian again. Like I said, still holds up, so really enjoy it. I'm actually I bought the third book in the Play to Live series. I don't want to talk about it too much. I don't know if I'd ever recommend it for the show because it's very game savvy, but what it boils down to is this guy has cancer, he's about to die, and there's a phenomenon where people are playing these immersive online role-playing games, and if you play too long, you basically just kind of like get sucked into the game to the point that like they can turn off life support to your body and you pretty much live in this game from now on.
Sounds like Black Mirror episode.
It is kind of, and it's like, but I mean, there's like 8 books in the series, so I mean, they definitely takes it really far. But I'm enjoying it. It's definitely, it's an interesting read. The other thing that I read, and I'm glad you said something, Chris, about what you're reading, because I really kind of hold this up to it. I also read Artemis by Andy Weir, who wrote The Martian.
Martian, yeah.
Whereas, like I said, Ready Player One, Armada and Ready Player One, you can tell it's the same author. It's the same genre, if you know what I'm talking about. Like, it's very, nostalgic, 80s feeling, that type of thing. Artemis is a completely different thing. It is not... We're not getting these super scientific, hey, super smart guy saves the day, saves his life type thing. It's a completely different story. I don't know. I need to go back and reread it, knowing what it is now, without the expectations of it being The Martian-like. But I just thought it was okay. I didn't really enjoy it that much. And like I said, I don't know if it's just because I had certain expectations when I started reading it and it didn't meet those. So I need to go back and reread it and just let it be what it is and see if I enjoy it more. So, it's narrated by Rosario Dawson. She does a wonderful job.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, the book itself just didn't really grip me. I was just kind of like, meh, the whole time. So, well, that being said, that is our show for the evening, ladies and gentlemen. As always, if you would, please give us a 5-star rating on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Music, wherever you may listen to the podcast. You can also watch us record the show on YouTube live. We do it about once a month, usually at the beginning of the month. We were trying for the last part of the month. That just hasn't worked out, so I'm just like, whatever, first of the month. It is what it is. You can find the site at epicallygeeky.com, and then, of course, find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at epicallygeeky as well. If you have any suggestions for books that you would like to see us read, on the book club, we'd love to have them. Like I said, we're probably going to sit down and start figuring out, hopefully, maybe even the rest of the year. We'll see.
Go the sleep.
Do what?
Go the fuck to sleep.
Yes.
But you gotta listen to it read by Samuel Jackson.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, that would be hilarious. I don't know if we can do a whole show on that one, but that may like be a mini episode.
You can watch it on YouTube. It's on YouTube right now.
Yeah. With that said, where can we find you on the internet, Lainey?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at It's a Laney Bird, and you can also find me over on the Epically Geeky Show and Epic Rhythm and Brews. We just put out a new episode, so you should go check it out.
Yes, they did. I listened to the episode.
Long sigh of exasperation.
What?
Y'all talk about Kanye West a lot, and you know my feelings on Kanye West. Anyway.
You have to respect him as an artist.
No, I don't. I don't have to do
Not
shit.
as a person.
Nope.
He's a shit person.
Nope.
But as an early artist, ooh, baby.
Nope. Anyway. Thanks, Ray. Ray, where can we find you online?
Instagram, just Lake Life Artist. You can search for me on Facebook, Raymond Andrew. I'm one of the artists listed there. I've got more stuff coming, I promise. It's just been pretty busy, but now that we are starting to get snow, I don't have to do as much because I can't work outside on the house. So
there you go.
There'll be some more stuff being posted soon. I've got so many paintings planned. It's crazy. Other than that, it's just obviously epicallygeeky.com and Woo! Still can't find her though.
That's right. You can find Chris at Epically Geeky. That's about it. So, do what?
I said that's it.
That's it. That works though.
It's only 6 months. I don't think I'm coming back.
Hey, if there's nothing there for you, I understand. So, Jennifer, where can we find you online?
Instagram and Twitter at Heck's Gonna Be Me.
I still love that handle. And you can find me online on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Optimus Gene. For everyone on the site, have a good night.
Bye.